how to get momentum going once you've lost it. So let me just talk to you for a second. Not the version of you that posts all the gym selfies on Instagram when things seem like they're going well. Not the version of you that tells people that you're busy and you're working on things. And yes, mate, I'm stressed out, but I'm busy, I'm working. I'm talking to the version of you that knows deep down something's off. Because your life looks fine on paper. You've got a decent job, money coming in, nice little relationship, maybe a few kids, respect from the outside, but on the inside, you feel flat, restless, unsettled. And do you want to know what the worst part is? It's that you don't know what to do. Or it's that you do know and you're still not doing it. That's the most frustrating situation to be in, because that gap right there is where momentum dies. And I know it because I've lived it hard. So before we go any further, let me say this early because some of you really need it. If this video is uncomfortable, then good. Comment the word blueprint or click the link in the description and you get a free copy of the Become Unfuckwithable Blueprint. It's a system that I use with all my private clients to get their momentum going again when they're falling into a pattern of self-sabotage. Now let's get into the deep stuff. Here's the real reason you've got no momentum: because you don't lack discipline. You don't lack intelligence because you're actually smart. You don't even lack potential. You lack self-trust, because momentum doesn't just disappear because you've failed. It disappears because you've stopped believing your own promises. Now think about it. How many times have you said, I'm going to start on Monday, I'll sort it out next month, I just need to get my head right and save up a little bit of money and then I'm ready to lock in. And then you didn't. Not dramatically, not in a big explosion or a Hollywood blockbuster way. You just drifted. One missed workout, one extra drink, one extra bag of the powder. Another night doing things that don't matter instead of the things that do matter. And every time something happens, you quit on yourself and you start again from zero. That's why starting now feels heavy. That's why even small tasks feel like massive effort. And that's why motivation doesn't even make an effort to show up anymore. Not because you're lazy, but because your word means nothing to yourself. Because momentum doesn't even start with the massive wins like we're led to believe. It starts with the moment you stop lying to yourself and just get started. So here's why you drift instead of completely quit. Because here's something that most men never admit. You're not scared of failing. You're scared of trying properly and seeing what that actually says about you. So you don't even quit. You just drift. Because drifting feels safer. Drifting lets you keep the identity of the man that I could if I wanted to. Do you know how much of an amazing person I would be if I locked in? Because quitting completely would force honesty, but drifting lets you hide in comfort. Midweek, nothing's quite wrong, but nothing's quite right either. So you pour a drink, you order some takeaway, you tell yourself that you're going to go harder tomorrow or next Monday. That's not rest. That's avoidance dressed up as relaxation. And every time you do it, momentum starts moving further and further and further away. Because momentum isn't built by motivation. This is where most people mess it up completely. They wait to feel ready. They wait for motivation. They wait for the right time. But that day never comes, because momentum is not emotional, it's mechanical. It doesn't care how you feel. It only responds to action. And it doesn't even have to be big action. It doesn't even have to be perfect action. Just small, repeatable action. That kind that you can't even talk yourself out of. That kind that doesn't require you to have confidence or self-belief. It's that kind that rebuilds up your self-trust quietly, bit by bit. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Your brain is addicted to comfort right now. But comfort is killing your momentum. So let me talk about the 5-minute rule. It's the only rule that really matters. I'm going to give you this one rule, not 10, not a list of life-changing biohacking actions, just one simple rule. Because if you want momentum back, you've got to start living by this rule. 5 minutes. That's it. You don't finish the task. You don't plan the month ahead. You don't transform your life magically overnight. You just start something that you've been avoiding for 5 minutes. Gym, 5 minutes. Bang some press-ups out. Sales calls you've been avoiding, 5 minutes. Make a few calls. Journal, walk, read, train, do sales calls, outreach, 5 minutes. And here's the key part. You're not allowed to stop you are allowed to stop after 5 minutes, sorry. No guilt, no pressure. Because why this works isn't magic. It's because it bypasses your bullshit or your ability to bullshit yourself. Your brain can't argue with 5 minutes. It can argue with an hour. It can argue with getting your life together completely and making radical changes. But 5 minutes feels safe. And once you start, momentum does what it always does. It starts to carry you forward. Not always, not perfectly, but enough. And it works. And enough is how momentum is rebuilt and then maintained and then grown. And that's why your life feels boring right now. Let me say something polarizing that might rub you up the wrong way. Because your life feels boring because there's no real resistance in it. No friction, no challenge, no demand placed on you. Because comfort has replaced meaning. Scrolling, drinking, easy dopamine, endless choice, zero commitment. That's not peace. That's sedation. Men don't feel alive when everything is easy. They feel alive when they're engaged. Because momentum brings meaning back. Not because life becomes perfect, but because you start respecting yourself again. So here's what self-sabotage actually is. Self-sabotage isn't you ruining your life. It's you soothing discomfort in all the wrong ways. Bad food, alcohol, drugs, women, porn, distraction, busyness. I know this firsthand because I was living a life where I had boxing titles, momentum, opportunity, and I self-sabotaged it with drugs, alcohol, bad habits, fighting, skipping, wasting money. Not because I even hated myself, but I did eventually. It was because I didn't know how to sit with discomfort or with my own thoughts. And every time I escaped it, the spiral just got worse. And that's exactly how it happens. Quietly, gradually, bit by bit, but it adds up. But momentum fixes this because it gives discomfort a purpose. So no, you don't need a new identity. You don't need to transform as a person. That's another lie that keeps you stuck. You think you need to become a different person and get fixed, but you don't. You need to become consistent because momentum doesn't care who you think you are. It responds to what you do daily because identity follows behavior, not the other way around. You don't become disciplined and then act. You act and then discipline appears and stays there and you start getting momentum and feeling excited. You don't feel confident and then move. You move, create some results, and then your confidence catches up. So here's why thinking is your biggest enemy. Because you're overthinking because you're thinking it feels productive, but it isn't. Thinking is often just fear with better vocabulary and a bit smarter IQ, because planning gives you a dopamine hit without requiring action. That's why you feel good after making the plans and then shit the bed and get scared when it's time to execute, because momentum doesn't come from thinking harder. It comes from acting sooner. Messy, imperfect, embarrassing, but done beats perfect every single time. So here's the daily momentum rule that I live my life by. If you want something practical, here it is. Every day you do one thing that your future self will thank you for. Not 5, not everything, just one. On bad days, that thing's small. But on the good days, when you've got more energy than you know what to do with, it compounds. That's it. And that's how you get the momentum going, because momentum's built when promises are kept on the days when nobody sees. So here's exactly why you've been treating momentum like a toy. And this is going to sting and it's probably going to piss you off, but I don't care. Momentum is a privilege. And you've just been treating it casually. Starting, stopping, hot, cold, up, down, on, off, all in, then gone. You wouldn't treat your money like that. You wouldn't treat your body like that. Well, I hope you wouldn't anyway. But you treat your direction like it doesn't matter. When I promise you it does. Because momentum's fragile at first. You need to protect it. You don't overcommit. You don't over-explain. You don't announce it. You just move quietly. You take them small actions that compound and start building momentum. And you're probably thinking, what happens when momentum comes back? Because here's the good news. When momentum returns, everything improves. Energy, confidence, relationships, income, focus. Not because life's suddenly easy. It's because you've stopped fighting yourself and you've become reliable again. And people start to notice. Not because you tell them, but because your presence and your vibration and your frequency start to change. So here's the hard truth you need to hear. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're not lost. You've just let momentum die off. And momentum is rebuilt the same way every single time. Small actions, kept promises, less talking, more doing, compounded. Because if you fall out of momentum or you fell out of momentum, that's why you found this video. Don't panic. Do something small immediately as soon as this video is done. That's how you get back into momentum, and you keep taking action and building it and compounding it until you feel like nothing can stop you again. So let me say this clearly. Nobody's coming to save you. No perfect moment is arriving. No motivational fairy is on the way. But good job, because you don't need any of that. You just need a little bit of movement. 5 minutes today beats another year of thinking of the perfect plan that you never take action on. So if you want the free system that I use with all my private clients to rebuild their momentum without motivation, comment the word blueprint on this video or click the link in the description and get it for free. It's there for you to download the Become Unfuckwithable Blueprint, because momentum starts the moment you stop negotiating with yourself. So I'll see you in the next video, but don't bother clicking on it if you're not going to download the Become Unfuckwithable Blueprint, the system that's changed my life and so many of my clients. Let's fucking have it.